Right, good morning, welcome back. Now today I want to flat down the primer on these fenders and on the tank and get them super smooth and ready for final paint. But before I do that, I want to test this rubber underguard that comes with an amazing reputation to see if it actually works. So I sprayed up this test piece, bit of scrap metal. Let's get it in the blast booth, fire some glass beads at it and see if it actually stays put. Right, fabulous result, as I'd hoped. Pretty much all of it has stayed put. It's actually warm to the touch, which shows we've had a good go at it. The metal's etched here at the bottom, and where it's thinnest at these two ends, obviously it started to take it off, and that little section where I touched it to see if it's dry, but other than that, where it was thickest, it's all still intact and still rock solid, just a little bit of an etch to the surface. Now that's not a scientific test by any means, and I can't imagine for one moment how you would simulate the internal grip blast in a pair of fenders for tens of thousands of miles to come. It's just too many variables, but playing the grip blasting gun directly on it, 6 inches away for over a minute, and it's only etched the surface of the finish, I'm pretty confident that the lining inside these fenders now is more than adequate to protect them from this rusting nonsense ever happening again. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get these sanded down and ready for paint. Right, if you've never seen it before, this is dry guide coat. Normally, to make a guide coat, you take a rattle can of a contrasting colour, anything, doesn't matter what it is, and just flick a very quick dust coat over the surface. Just patchy and dusty. You let it lay and let it dry, and then you sand away that speckly finish, and that takes the surface off the primer and leaves it nice and smooth. It guides you down through just one coat. That's what a guide coat is. But this dry powder is better because when you use a rattle can, it's a liquid paint. It contains strong chemicals like thinners, and when you spray it on the primer being porous, it soaks in. And you don't really want anything soaking into your primer if you can help it. So the dry guide coat is better. It's like a charcoal powder. You rub it over the surface, it fills every single imperfection, and then you sand it away. And as you sand it away, the imperfections will remain behind. So you keep sanding until they disappear, then you know you're completely flat. So dry guide coat, far better than a wet flick over with some paint. Now here's a perfect example of why this guide coat is such an important step. Take a look at this little rash of black dots here. It's a little bit of the orange peel still left behind, but when you feel it, it's practically undetectable. You can hardly feel it at all, but you can clearly see it visually. So you just keep sanding until it visually disappears, and then you know that your surface is absolutely flawless, which is what we want. All right, there's both fenders done, ready for paint. Now onto the tank. Now underneath here, the tunnel is never going to get seen. It doesn't need a posh finish, so no need to flat it down properly. All it needs is a key for the top coat to stick. So we'll just use that with a scuff pad, scratch it up inside, then move out onto the bit that does get seen. And then just very carefully work our way around, out, onto the side, flip it over onto the top and get a really nice mirror finish, exactly like the fenders, ready to go. Right, there we are, absolutely mirror smooth and ready for paint, and hopefully the guys at the paint shop think so too. Now I've got to hand this over first thing in the morning and it'll be away for about a week before it's painted and polished and ready to reinstall. So I've got that week to prepare a couple of things on the bike that need dealing with, one of which is next, and that's a broken bolt snapped off in the frame. Got to drill it out, re-tap it and make it ready to reinstall everything. So thanks for watching, take it easy, ride safe, I'll see you next time.